Welcome back to Smell the Roses, where we pause, think, and peel back what's really going on in the headlines. Okay. Today, we're revisiting a story that blew up over the holidays. The topic of today's video is Nicki Minaj, Turning Point USA, and the cost of her independent thought. Okay. So, Nicki Minaj surprising appearance at Turning Point USA's America First and the firestorm that followed is incredible. Okay, guys, it's incredible. If you don't know, Nicki made a surprise appearance at Turning Point USA's America Fest in Phoenix, Arizona on December 21st, as you can see here. In the video. And she spoke about her admiration for President Donald Trump as a source of hope. She also praised JD Vance, even awkwardly calling him an assassin, a remark that it triggered me, and I know it was bound to trigger everyone else because of the way Charlie Kirk passed away. He was assassinated. And then she criticized California's governor, Gavin Newsom, and his stance on transgender youth. And she spoke about her frustration about being pushed around and having the desire to want to speak her mind more, right? So then the cultural earthquake hit, and Nicki Minaj's Instagram went dark days after her appearance here with Erica Kirk, which was widely interpreted as a reaction to the backlash over her political statements. And I think that is a reasonable it's reasonable to think that the reason why she's laying low right now off of social media is because of the backlash. People are pissed. But this is not just a random talk show appearance anymore. It now looks like a pivotal political and cultural moment in Nicki's career. I don't know if she thought it would be this big, but it definitely is intense, okay? Because people are very, very mad. They unfollowed her in the droves and debated her shift publicly. Fellow musicians like Lizzo, of all people, suggested that these signals and it are a trend of artists aligning with political power for profit. Ouch. And then here we go. Joe Budden, he says that he was cutting ties with Nicki. I'm sure she's so butthurt over that because he believes, or him and his podcast cronies believe, that her stance basically contradicts cultural values tied to the genre. Cultural values tied to the genre. I guess he's talking about cultural ties to hip hop, and we've got Two Life Crew is connected to hip hop. I wonder what cultural values Two Life Crew brought to the culture. But anyway, Joe, that's fine for you to think. Celebrity bloggers basically accused her of doing the same thing that Lizzo accused her for, working for Erica Kirk and the Trump administration for a paycheck. And that's not just a backlash, that's a cultural war at the intersection of music, personal identity, and political identity. Very scary. Here's the thing. This moment isn't only about whether Nicki Minaj is conservative, liberal, or something else. It's about something bigger. Who gets to speak? Who gets forgiven or canceled? And what happens when people with massive influence reject expected political alignment? Nicki has historically walked her own path, both in music and in her personal life. Now she's extended that independence into a political space, and the reaction exposes a cultural truth. Many people are no longer judging what she says as much as who she has spoken with. And that's where the tension really lies, okay? So here is what me, or Smell the Roses, wants you to consider when you are driven to salacious celebrity drama like this, right? You see me up here on these panels. Having an independent thought is not easy. It is especially not easy to have independent thoughts and communicate them eloquently, meaning that my audience understands where I'm coming from and the context of what I'm speaking, right? And if I have an opinion that defies the expected norms, especially in my public life, there's going to be people that are going to push back on me. Okay. And unfortunately, in this like cookie cutter society where we're getting information as fast as we can, like, flick our phone, fans want artists to stay on brand. And you know, that also includes politics. But as I said earlier on the Cart Before the Horses live show tonight, you might start off as an independent or a Democrat or a Republican as you get your right to vote. Once you turn 18 and you're able to vote, you might start voting out on one voting block. And then as you get older, as you get married, as you have children, your responsibilities and your perspective on life shifts. So your political stance might shift, and that's okay in my eyes. But culturally, when public figures, reject those tiny boxes that we as fans put them in, people react with confusion, anger, and betrayal, as we've seen with how many people have unfollowed her on social media. And that reaction tells us something deeper about our society. We're more comfortable when people stay inside the lines. Whether those lines are political, cultural, ideological, or even artistic, right? Because her music generated a lot of controversy throughout the years. So, was Nicki right or wrong? Is Nicki being strategic, authentic, opportunistic? You can decide for yourself. But in this moment, the backlash, the debate, and the scrutiny reveal a bigger truth. Independent thinking still makes people uncomfortable. And when someone in the spotlight exercises it, the world rushes to define them, judge them, or cancel them. That's not just about Nicki. That's about who we are as a culture and how we treat people who refuse to be categorized. This is Smell the Roses. Let us pause, think, and look beyond the outrage. And remember, true thinking isn't safe, but it is necessary. And I stand by that with all 10 of my toes. All right, rosebuds. If you've appreciated this video, please like it. Subscribe to my channel if you have not already done so, and share this video if you think it could be insightful or helpful for someone that is struggling with this topic right now. Right? Let them know that it's okay to have an independent, free thought. Okay. I love you all. Catch you all in the next video. See you all later. Bye bye.